All right, moving on to the Midnight Ride. Now, this is the first episode of season 3, and this is where we find out that David and Kristen have moved away. Except for I don't see the other kid either. Can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they didn't even give him a send off. He just kind of disappeared. So I thought that was kind of odd. What's his name? Not Carl something, but yeah, I thought that was odd because he was in all of season 1, and I don't know how much he was. I don't know if he was in season 2. Geez, I wasn't even paying attention to him. I didn't even notice him. He's been gone for a while, maybe. But yeah, so David and Kristen are gone. They give them their little send off, and this is Tucker's initiation. Gary's brother, and everyone's like, no way, not that little, craphead. And he tells his story, and of course they're like, all right, fine, you can stay. No one has ever told a bad story. Like, they can't just have a bad episode so that they can be at the end be like, yeah, that sucked. Even though there are some episodes that the stories are pretty lame, like The Bookish Babysitter or something, where I'm like, if you told that story at my fire, even if you were like a member with seniority and I'd only been there a week, I'd be like, no, you can't tell stories here anymore. That was dreadful. But so he just brings a sequel story to Sleepy Hollow, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that the idea of taking an old fairy tale, or whatever you want to call it, and kind of putting a sequel spin on it, instead of just taking it and reprinting around. Like, that's what they did, but it's kind of, it's set after. I like that. I like the idea of that. So we go and we find this kid named Ian, which his name starts with I, like Ichabod Crane, which is cute. And I like Ian. I thought he was pretty cool. He sticks up for women. He makes jokes to try to diffuse, hostile moments when everyone's trying to get physical. He's like telling jokes, and and as I said, he's sticking up for ladies when dicks are being dicks. Like, this guy's like, we're breaking up when I say we break up. Like, who talks to women like that? And if they do, someone like this guy should come in and be like, whoa, bro. Like, and he kind of tries to make a joke, and he like drops a thing on his head, like, to distract him and get more of the attention on him. This is a cool kid. I like him. He's kind of a nerd, but who cares? I like him. I dig him. Anyway. And the girl in this, oh my God, she's pretty, man. So he was really going for broke here. He was like, he saw his eyes. That little girl was adorable. So he was just like, like, I'm new to town, but you are what I want, and I will take on the biggest bully in this school if I have to. And he sure does. I mean, he even gets like fed up to a point where he's like, fine, if you want to fight, let's do this. And I really like the scene where the headless horseman, because the kid pretends to be the headless horseman. Ian's like, don't take my head, don't take my head. They make fun of him for it, and then they run off, and then the real headless horseman comes, and Ichabod Crane comes, and they change the myth, they change the story or whatever, and he goes and he makes it so then the legend is then revitalized, and he's looking for a new head. And so I like the scene where he looks on the wall and there's the shadow of the headless horseman, and then he goes over to confront the bully, who he thinks has a horse, I guess, which is pretty damn theatrical for just a little prank. That would be, that's all in. But he sees the shadow up on the wall, and then he looks and there's nothing there, which would be super scary. Like, that would be almost impossible to pull off. But yeah, he has a shadow up on the wall, and then the shadow kind of like turns and comes out of the wall, and at that moment you're like, anyone would probably just fall over dead. That would be so scary. And so he runs off, and he takes the right bridge this time, and the headless horseman can't go over it like in the story. And I like how it like turns to fire and like kind of makes this like freaking I don't know, like a streamline of fire. It's really cool looking. There's some cool effects in this for a show that usually has some pretty lame ones at times. And I guess this story kind of just outright says that like Ichabod Crane is destined to die. Like he's not allowed to ever make it. He's not even, because a lot of these stories in these shows are like, you know, they reset things. Like one of these, this next episode I'm going to be talking about, and other episodes, the ghosts come back and they make them set them right so that that breaks the curse, and then they can, you know, move on into the afterlife, or they can have their life back and be young again or whatever. But in this one, it was like, no, Ichabod, you have to die. Like this story is too popular, so you got to go back. And you got to come back and go down the wrong pathway and die like you were supposed to. Poor Ichabod, man. That guy can't catch a break. But kid gets the girl, and that's it. Who knows what the bully did to him after this, but the bully saw him too, so I'm sure he's probably at home crying right now. So anyway, let's move on.